case studies in variety of domains, but we will focus on the healthcare. We will touch upon some of the other areas as well. Then a very important component which also was explained during the introduction by Madam, and that has got to do with the research. So we will also take a look at some of the research dimensions of AI. So this is also very important because largely AI has now become a commoditized. So people from all dimensions, all walks of life are able to utilize the models given by AI. But we also need, as a country and as computer science department and computer science related organizations, we also need to contribute to the research aspect. So this is also an important part of our discussion, our talk today. And we understand McKinsey has already told us that AI is contributing to transformation of society, which is happening 10 times faster and 300 times the scale. And roughly, it will have a 3,000 times impact compared to the industrial revolution that we have seen and we have been a part of it. So this is an interesting time and very challenging as well as faculty members, as researchers, since the impact expected is really huge. And we are already seeing some of this aspect of the impact. So AI largely is an ability to learn, understand, and interact. And this we know that John McCarthy had coined this term actually long back, but it is as of the last few years, let us say a decade, that this technology has really taken all of us by a storm. And that's because of the availability of large data sets, also because of availability of large compute power, which is available with researchers today. It enables simulation of human intelligence processes by machines. It is the science of teaching computers actually to become intelligent. And the last one is one that I really like always, and I want to call it as augmented intelligence rather than artificial intelligence, because intelligence is something which is very innate to human beings, and we are the ones which are driving this intelligence. And this is actually an augmentation of our own faculties and intelligence. So now we understand that machine learning, AI is everywhere, right from gaming to recommendation systems to drug risk discovery. And for a country like us, where we have 22 official languages and more than 100 dialects actually more than 500 dialects. So language is an important part where we can utilize AI. Then we have voice assistants, predictions in stock markets, and of late, assisted driving. Face detection also is very important, and of course, cancer diagnosis. So cancer diagnosis and drug discovery, these are important from perspective of healthcare. Then from sectoral perspective, like we have seen on the left side, we take a look at the use cases where we have spectrum from GPT, Midjourney, DAL-E for images, Deep Dream, Whisper, WaveNet. So these are the set of AI, generative AI related solutions. And on the right side, we see the sectors which will be impacted by these technologies, which includes a large part of healthcare as well. Then this actually we are aware of that AI is the larger umbrella and under which we have machine learning, neural nets, deep learning, and the latest addition is the generative AI. From business perspective also, if we take a look at this revolution, we see that the top slot has been given to improved customer experience and relationships with the utilization of AI, more capital and talent for productivity, efficiency, and cost reduction. So we have to always see that what is the impact that the technology is going to have on the domain that we are utilizing it for. And so this chart becomes very important. Increased intelligence and analysis. Then there is also automation, a lot of automation, and hence reduced headcount, which actually, from business perspective, which adds a lot of value to the bottom line and top line and the profits. So but this at the same time, this has also given rise to new products, new markets. There is also a new targeted customer prospecting and pricing. So the way marketing now will work is very different from what it was working earlier. Then there is a lot of optimization. AI has brought about optimization in processes, which includes revenue cycles as well as production. Then there's also a class of problems which help us in the predictive and targeted marketing. Then the improvement in customer personalization and usage patterns is also something which we are seeing. And of course, IT related efficiencies and speed in innovation. So, speed in innovation has also increased multifold because of AI. Now, let us take a look at some of the aspects of what is popularly being called as Amrit Kal. So, it is a period of or an era of what Amrit is referred to as elixir. It's a period of 25 years. So, this period from 22 to 47 has been declared by Prime Minister's vision as a dawn for new India, and it will help us give fulfillment of the aspirations of our country. So, what are the foundations of this Amrit Kal? They are referred to as what is called as Panchapran or five fundamental pillars of Amrit Kal. So, we are taking a look at these pillars here. Why we are taking a look at this is the AI applications that we intend to develop or the research that we intend to do should be in line with these objectives or these five panchapran which have been given by our honorable prime minister. So विकसित भारत का निर्माण गुलामी की हर सोच से मुक्ति. So can we do something for getting away from the elimination of the colonial mindset that we have? We have this idea of copying. So this copy paste technology that we are following even today is a representation of the colonial mindset that we have. Then virasat par garva. Do we have honor and pride in our roots? Can we utilize AI for this purpose? Then ekata and ekajutata. So we are seeing that development of unity is also a very big challenge. Then Nagarik Kartavya. So we are seeing that sense of duty among the citizens. So can we do some AI, utilize some AI applications towards these goals? So this is what is the definition of Amrit Kal. Then what are the strengths and challenges in front of our nation? So Panchapran target has been given for a period of 25 years. A big goal, a large goal of this is a developed India. So we have been listening since our childhood that India is a developing country. Bharat is a developing. So how long do we intend to listen to this terminology of developing country? When do we become a developed nation? So this goal has been set. Then for this, a very important pillar is what is called as Atmanirbhar Bharat. Then there is a need. Energy sector becomes very important for AI. So there's a need to become self-reliant in the energy sector. Private sector needs to play a very active role. Then another important pillar is the women. So how as we as women are participating in this growth story of the country. Gender equality is crucial parameter for the unity, and we understand that family unit is a very important basis of our nation. So how do we strengthen this family unit? And so this is a very important challenge. And of course, we are aware of these evils of corruption. Then what have we seen during this blueprint time, which has started since 25? So what we have seen here is that we are the fastest growing economy. We have a brand new parliament building. Then we know about G20, we know about the Bharat trains, we know about the Chandrayaan mission. And we will also know up to 2047, a lot of other goals have also been set up, which includes becoming the third largest economy as well. Then what is the journey for us as technologists here? So the first aspect really is to be able to dream big. So considering the Amrit Kal goals that have been set up, we really need to think, to dream, to believe. So once we have these three things in place, a big dream, then we understand what is Amrit, because we have heard about this Manthan, Samudra Manthan. That is what I've tried to depict here between the Deva and Danava. So that is the fight that we are always going through. So the good, the bad, the ugly kind of thing. So we have to make good choices there. And an uh, important aspect of this picture here is to say that this Manthan part is really important. So when we dream big, we create big teams, and we do a lot of thinking, churning, chintan, manthan, and then we understand, okay, this is the goal that we want to reach. And then an important part, and a very important part, is sankalpa here. So this concept also we are very much aware as Bharatiya, that sankalpa is nothing but a promise. So however big dreams that we make, however much thinking or churning or chintan we do, but if we don't have a sankalpa, then we don't really start on that path. So sankalpa is important, thinking big is important, churning, building teams is important. So from perspective of Vikasit Bharat 2047, these are some of the priority areas. Priority areas including education, health, sports, Nari Shakti, then thriving and sustainable economy. So this is possible through agriculture, industry, services, infrastructure, and green economy. So all these keywords that we are describing here as part of important priority areas of Vikasit Bharat will be touched, are being already touched by AI. Then innovation, science and technology, which includes the research aspect, which we will also discuss. An important aspect is good governance and security. And we can have a lot of tools in this area as well. Then I like this particular uh, little, let us say, a summarized form of what we discussed right now. So idea starts with I, ideas which describe and what I can do myself. I is the first in idea, and I also is the first in India. So this is kind of a setting a direction for ourselves. So how do we define Vikasit Bharat? So these are some of the matrices or measurements for defining ourselves as a developed nation. So down below we have seen that uh, which are the countries which are already developed nations, and how do we compare with these countries. Once we are able to compare, we are able to figure out the gaps, and then we will know how to fill those gaps. And what our prime minister has already told us is that if each one of us takes one step, then we take 140 steps together. So that is the important takeaway from today's talk as well. Then generative AI use cases, if we look, what are the businesses? That is what we have tried to show through this visual. And this graphic will let us know that the travel, transport, logistics, retail, real estate, energy, agriculture, public sector, and social sector. So this is where we will have a lot of traction in terms of AI. Then executive, this is an idea about what are the areas that are being targeted by global generative AI startups, and what are the trends in terms of these startups. And we see that a lot of contextual importance of AI has been given in terms of the silent features of AI itself, of the generative AI, the major content or the data categories, and the challenges which are involved. Then now let us take a look at some of the case studies from AI. So this will actually give you an um, idea about what is the work that CDAC is doing already in this area. Before we move forward, do we have any questions in the chat or any comments before we move to the next section? So, madam, if you can help, there are a lot of good morning questions. Okay, so not many questions are there. I think there is some, I'm not sure if chat is enabled, but just request the,
Yes, ma'am.
So if you can just enable the chat, then it helps
Not able.
participants to ask questions if they have any. So we will move to the case studies from AI. And before we start, let us take a look at what CDAC as an R&D organization does. What are our thrust areas? So R&D, CDAC, as we know, is Center for Development of Advanced Computing under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. On the left side, we are able to see what are the thrust areas of CDAC. One very important thrust area is high performance computing, and under this, we have a very large compute facility set up at CDAC Pune as well as the other centers of CDAC. And this forms a very important part of the foundation or the infrastructure part or the compute aspect of AI has been taken care under this HPC initiative. Then we have strategic electronics, multilingual and heritage computing. A very important technology for healthcare is language computing because in our country there are a lot of people speaking so many languages and we need to cater to those aspects of the population using language technologies. Then we have software technology, cyber security and forensics. So this also becomes very important from the health perspective because as more and more applications and data become available online, the risks which we are encountered with because of the data becoming online and public has to be countered with strong cybersecurity measures. Then we have quantum computing, health informatics as a separate area, as well as education and training. So when we are looking at AI, education also is an important part, and you are contributing a lot to this area. These are some of the missions of CDAC, one of them being exascale computing, quantum computing, microprocessor and strategic electronics, and Internet of Everything. A very important part of sensors includes the health sensors as well. So these are sources of data which we can utilize and when we develop the models. On the right side, we see that the centers of CDAC across the country, we are spread from north to south and east to west. So the first center to start was Pune, and thereafter about 12 centers have been added across the country. Then coming to the AI aspect, so we have already seen what are the thrust areas for our country as a developed nation. And we see here that healthcare forms a very big aspect of the domains which are thrust areas for CDAC as well as for our country. The other areas being agriculture, education, urbanization, mobility, uh, as well as in terms of technology, it will include cybersecurity, AI, as well as the HPC infrastructure, which is on the left side. So this we will talk in more detail about the HPC AI infrastructure, which has been enabled by CDAC as well. Then coming to AI applications for healthcare, CDAC has a large presence in the hospital information management systems, so which have been again augmented with a lot of AI tools. Then we have a blood bank management system, drug and vaccine management system. Then a few products in the area of oncology or cancer. One of which is Karkat Nirnay Yantra, which works based on thermography for breast cancer. Then there are applications for cervical cancer. So this also utilizes AI models. Then in terms of harnessing our strengths in healthcare, we have a presence in our traditional medicine called as Ayurveda. And for that, we have a decision support system for Ayurveda, which is called as AyuSoft. And to augment the capabilities of Ayurveda, we also have models for Ayurveda, some of which we will discuss. Then there is also an integrative healthcare product called as eye care at home and a nationwide implementation of e-Sanjeevani, which is a telemedicine solution, has been done. On the left side, we look at what is called as AI models for breast cancer and ovarian cancer. It is an India-centric oncology platform powered by CDAC's HPC AI infrastructure. And this has been developed in consultation in collaboration with AIMS New Delhi. This has already been deployed there. Then in the bottom half, we are seeing we have HPC-driven Ayurveda-based repurposing, which is the bioinformatics aspect of the Ayurveda, and it helps in terms of what is called as drug discovery or drug repurposing from perspective of Ayurveda. Then this actually we have discussed, and it enables the diagnostic evaluation of cancer, early detection of India-centric cancer. Then it has got models related to risk evaluation, related to treatment recommendations and monitoring, and AI models on the radiology and the pathology images, including augmentation with lab investigations and outcome data. So this is an important contribution, which works largely on imaging and clinical data. Then the other one which we have developed is what is called as eye care at home, and it offers modern Ayurveda, homeopathy, and yoga related solutions. This is more in the promotive healthcare side, in the disease prevention and primary care side. So as an augmentation to this, AI augmentation to this application, we have developed models for yoga pose detection and correction. So that is an interesting real-time application of AI. Also in this domain, we have worked on what is called as Jivha Pariksha or the tongue examination. Then we are currently also working on analysis of the skin-related conditions, and we are developing models for skin-related care. Then this is a decision support system, IUSoft, which we have discussed. And this is based on the classical data in Sanskrit. So that data has been codified in the form of a database, and a decision support system has been developed. And this is a data mining tool based on Ayurveda knowledge base. Then to augment these facilities, we have an important aspect of Ayurveda is what is called as Nadi Pariksha, or the pulse examination. So we also have two patents in this area of Ayurveda Nadi Pariksha. So this is an attempt to bring instrumentation into the Ayurveda healthcare, which is the basis of the one of the important pillars of the Ayush systems of healthcare that we have in our country. So Ayush, AYUSH, that stands for Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, then naturopathy, and SH is for homeopathy. Then so we have some systems in the traditional area, then a few systems in the personal healthcare of oncology. Then we have also developed models in the area of public health for malaria, tuberculosis, and like we discussed, for Jivha Pariksha as well. So what are these models? So for malaria, an important test for diagnosis is the blood examination. So that blood examination related model has been developed, which will help us to classify between, look at the images and find out whether the blood samples, that is, and model and to classify whether it is affected or not affected. Then for tuberculosis, so when we develop models for healthcare, it is important that we understand some aspects of the domain so that we will be able to work on solutions which will capture the essence of that domain as well. So for the tuberculosis, what we require for the purpose of diagnosis at the screening level, what we require is to detect whether the sputum sample, so in this case, sputum samples are collected, and whether they are adequate for the purpose of diagnosis of tuberculosis. So the test of adequacy is done typically is done manually, where the pathologist actually looks through the microscope and does a count of adequacy that uh, for that bacilli actually. So instead of doing that, can we make a model? So this is what we have looked at, the sputum related images to detect the adequacy of the sputum for detection of TB. Then Jiva Pariksha also we have seen, and a model has been developed to figure out whether that detection of diseases through the analysis of the tongue. Then multiomics data forms the basis for bioinformatics related work. And in this case, AI automation of the drug discovery platform has been done using the high performance computing platform. And what it enables is the protein folding, misfolding for Alzheimer's disease, then enabling some antisense studies as well as detection of cancer proteins and drug repurposing. So these are some of the areas where AI has been utilized. So the next one is for cancer screening as well using infrared imaging data. And this is important for the early diagnosis of the breast cancer. This is a non-invasive, no touch, non-radiating, and a very much harmless method for detection of cancer. And it is called as Karkat Nirnay Yantra. And this works on the basis of this AI model is the IR imaging data. Then we also have a product in the area of cervical cancer, and which is called as Cerviscan, and it works on the pap smear related data, and a cytologist is required for the analysis. So this part has been automated using AI model. Then another interesting area of study is the fundus imaging data for detection of diabetic retinopathy related illnesses. And a model has been developed in this area and developed in the form of a tool which is called as Drushti. An important extension to this is something called as a digital twin, which we will discuss in the research dimensions of the talk later. Then another important aspect of collaborating with doctors. So any AI model in the healthcare domain requires that we have a domain support of the doctors. So it is important that they also understand what are the technologies which can be implemented in the healthcare domain. And so we have undertaken a few capacity building programs for the medical doctors where we have trained them to understand the AIML, the software development lifecycle, the instrumentation, the standards in AI. So actually what it has helped the doctors do is to imagine what are the solutions which are possible with healthcare because they are too busy with their daily health related activities with patients. They're not able to really understand what this technology can do for them. So for that purpose, this capacity building activity has been carried out for the medical doctors. Then some applications in the area of security. This also is an important pillar for healthcare solutions. When we think of healthcare solutions and bringing things online for the citizens as well as for the doctors, security becomes an important aspect. And hence, AI has some applications in this area also in cyber forensics, cryptography, network security, then the threat detection and mobile and IoT also have some threats which can be handled using AI. Then, like we discussed earlier, CDAC has several products in the area of language also. So language also is an important part of the AI offering, as well as important from perspective of healthcare becoming more accessible. So when we intend to make When we intend to scale our AI solutions in the area of healthcare, one important requirement is that the solution is available in several local languages of our country. So language solutions become important. Then in terms of healthcare, for electronic health records, where AI models are utilized and where language computing is also utilized, is while taking the dictation from the doctors. So they don't have much time to fill in the EHR forms that we develop. So a way to automate that process is to convert from the speech to the text while he is having a discussion, while the doctor is having a discussion with the patient, and to summarize the diagnosis process itself. So this in this way, language AI is utilized for the healthcare sector. So this AI application in oncology that we have is also being augmented with this kind of solution for automating the process of entry of data into the EHR system while the discussion with the patient is happening, and not expecting the doctor to spend more time to do data entry. So it's an effort to automate the process of the doctor. Then these are some of the other areas where language computing can be utilized for sentiment analysis, for text to speech kind of systems, for speech to speech machine translation systems. Then to be able to, for the doctor to be able to discuss. Now we know that a lot of doctor population is concentrated in the urban areas. So what about the rural areas? So when we have telemedicine related solutions like e-Sanjeevani, which is accessible to the rural area, these speech and language tools become important bridge between the doctors and the patients. Then another important tool in this language domain is what is called as optical character recognition for the Indian languages. And so this becomes important in the healthcare domain also, because a lot of data is available in the form of written prescriptions of the doctors. So when we want to develop models in AI for healthcare, the first requirement is to convert that data which is available in the form of scanned documents of the patient records to be converted into digital format first. So this is a Chitrankan OCR and translation system. Uh, in addition to this, what components we have added are the component related to what is called as the chatbot. So in addition to this OCR and translation system, the augmentation with a chatbot enables chatbot, or what is now popularly also called as activities which are done by large language models, or one of the implementations of which is the chat GPT. There are so many others. So this large language model related um, training is being done along with this OCR and translation system. So it is a chat based interface called as the chat Sahayak. Then some of these applications in the agriculture domain also CDAC is contributing. So some of the areas are AgriSense, Haritapriya. Then agriculture also is a widespread area and has uh, manufacturing of the uh, grains itself, for which there is this lot of solutions have been given for harvesting, for cattle health, for detection of quality of the grains. So these are the areas where AI has been utilized. And why I am also sharing these other domains with you is with the purpose to say that these are the application areas and how can we utilize some of these, because technology largely is not dependent on the domain. So domain independent technologies are available and we can actually utilize it for the purpose of healthcare also. So how we can utilize it for healthcare? One of the applications which we have developed is for the leaf analysis. So medicinal leaf analysis is something uh, which we have had a project, and it is able to, so now the ability to detect the various medicinal properties of different leaves and fruits and different parts of the plant itself is reducing. And so, with that objective in mind, a healthcare application for detection the of the herb itself and correlating it with the health properties. Then these are some of the applications for monitoring of cattle health and quality of milk. Uh, so these may not be very important from perspective of healthcare, but from perspective of overall AI applications and from perspective of Vikasit Bharat, these are some of the important applications. What is important in this is the IoT sensors which have been utilized. So some of the ways to utilize these sensors in the hospital setting could be to automate the monitoring of temperature, humidity in the ICU, for instance. So this is one of the ways to think about using IoT in the healthcare domain. Then this application actually is more towards the industrial or the utilities sector. And this is the drone platform which has been developed by CDAC. And also an important aspect or an important application of this in healthcare domain could be utilizing this drone technology for the delivery of medicines in the remote places. So this is one of the ways to correlate the development of the drone with the healthcare sector itself. So before we move to the research, let me again take a look at if there are some questions from the audience. So I think chat has been disabled, so people may not be able to ask questions. So if the organizers can enable chat, then some
Yes,
questions.
yes, madam. Yes, it is enabled.
Okay, so if
Hello,
participants, yeah, sure.
participant, any query, any question?
So if you can help me with the questions, then
Yes, please. Anyone? Any question? Any query? Deepali ma'am. Hello. Ankur Pal. Ankur Pal sir. Any question? Any question?
okay, so never mind. You just keep it open for some time, and if people
Yes,
feel
yes, yes, yes.
comfortable, they can ask queries there. Moving forward, a very important aspect of to important research aspects of AI. That is what we will take a look at. Then our Honorable Prime Minister has also focused largely on Anusandhan, which is the research. So the slogans in early 60s was Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Then in early 2000, Jai Vigyan was added. And now in the 2020s, the Jai Anusandhan has also been added as an important activity for us as um, people working in research as well as in academia. So academia and research and industry actually need to work together to enable this Jai Anusandhan aspect. And important parts which we will take a look at in terms of research for AI are what is called as development of multimodal large language models, or which are also referred to as foundation models or sovereign models. And now with the availability of more than 18,000 GPUs in the first phase and more than 34,000 GPUs in the second phase of the India AI mission, the ability to develop large language models as a nation is available to us in terms of availability, compute availability. So this is something which we need to definitely study and understand. Um, an important component of this is also the the scalability of the models, the multimodal nature of the models, and how expressive are these models. So all of us, many of us must be using this chat GPT kind of interfaces for knowledge access. And I'm sure a lot of your students also must have moved over to these platforms. And this is also a very big challenge for the faculty, because it has become harder to kind of engage with the students with the availability of these models. Also, another, we have had discussions with some colleges, and they are saying that in terms of in terms of the projects, people are now simply
कैसा ना ते
asking ChatGPT for
हो ना हो
a
ना
lot
हो
of
ना हो ना हो
solutions.
ना
So it has become a challenge from that perspective as well. Then another important aspect which is missing in the
ಇಲ್ಲ आता
global LLMs is the culture aspect or the language aspect or the the thinking aspect. So do we have models which will think the Indian way? So that is something which we need to study and understand while we are developing our own large language models. So the call has been out for development of LLMs, and the first project to be approved in
मॅडम
this area.
ग्रुपची
Yeah,
लिंक
sure.
ऑन आहे का सगळे जॉईन होतात ग्रुपला आता आता झाले काय आता 1 मिनिटापूर्वी
Sir, do
जॉईन
you
लिंक
have something to tell me?
नो नो मॅम नो
Okay, sure.
हाँ so there is question so I will interpret like we can take the questions later on also
Yes.
हाँ yes
So in terms of compute capacity, in terms of availability of data, in terms of having the data sets specific to India, that is what we need to have before we develop models for large language models for our country, which are multimodal and which are also sovereign. So Sarvam AI is the one which has been selected as the first project for development of large language models for our own country. Then the second important research aspect for AI is what is called as AI accelerators. So we understand that companies like Intel, Qualcomm, these are available, these are in the market, which are having specific AI related co-processors. So can we also do something in this area, research in this area to develop our own co-processors or having our own specialized FPGAs or ASICs for the purpose of having our models run on our own platforms. So, as a strategic direction, this becomes important that we develop our own AI accelerators. And from technology perspective, it is important for us um, to be able to deploy what is called now popularly called as edge computing, to be able to deploy our models on different AI platforms, which are optimized from the perspective of that application. Then another area which has been identified for research is what is popularly called now as neuromorphic computing. So we understand that the electricity is a huge deterrent when we speak about, when we consider the development of AI models. So they are very, very compute intensive. And when we say the development or the inferencing platforms are compute intensive, we also automatically say that they are electricity intensive. So a study was done in CDAC, and we found out that the amount of electricity that our supercomputer here in Pune requires is the same as what is required by the entire Pashan Baner area. So the amount of electricity you can see is huge. And what we look at when we think about CPUs or GPUs is sequential processing, then separation of compute and memory, and the code in the form of binary instructions, and communication in the form of binary data, and the timing given by the synchronous clock driven timing. So, but this is what is popularly called as the von Neumann architecture. And that is what we are studying, where the inputs are binary and output is also binary. But when we think about the neuromorphic architecture or neuromorphic computing, then the in terms of operation, it actually works in the way that our neurons work. So researchers have figured out that the amount of processing that our brain is able to do and the amount of energy that is required, it requires for that amount of processing is very, very highly efficient compared to what is done in the computers. So can we attain that level of efficiency of processing or computing that our brain has achieved? So that is at the focus of this neuromorphic area. And what is different here is that we think in terms of what are called as spikes. So the input is spike and the output is a spike. So when we think of spikes, the optimization that happens in the area of spike is that the electricity is not continuous. The electricity is available in spikes and it is available when it is required. So at the other times, the most of our neurons are sleeping. Only when that particular area is activated, when we start thinking, those light up. So this is the uh, feature of the way in which our brain works, which is being utilized for the neuromorphic area. And when we visualize the features of the neuromorphic architecture, this includes massively parallel processing, then co-location of the processing and the memory. So our brain, when it starts processing, it doesn't require us to fetch the data required for the processing from somewhere else. So it is co-located inside the brain itself. Then programming domain or programming architecture, which is visualized for neuromorphic area, is what are called as the spiking neural networks. And the communication is also in terms of spikes. And the timing happens actually as asynchronous or event-driven kind of timing. So after the uh, areas of large language model development, accelerator development, this is another area which is important in the coming times, where we will look at ultra low powered but brain inspired computing. So here we are looking at uh, if you look at the diagram on the right side, a lot of new materials also need to be developed for developing these neuro inspired processors. So some of these are already available in the market, but we need to do a lot of research in this area to figure out how to do this computing and how to develop the processors which are required to enable this new paradigm of computing, which is the neuromorphic computing. So here, looking at the neuromorphic computing at scale, important aspects which we need to study uh, for the research are that this activity in the brain is a sparse activity. So that gives us one clue about how to uh, design resource-aware compute, resource-aware power, and resource-aware memory. Then scaling also is an important aspect of this because neural processing elements, they can scale very fast. Also, we need to study what are called as neural spikes. Then the brain, different areas of the brain are taking care of different aspects of the knowledge processing. So there is some kind of what is called as a hierarchy in the cortical regions. So can we study those aspects and implement that hierarchy in the neuromorphic domain as well? Then support for many platforms, sensors, and actuators. So we see that what are called as Jnanendriya and Panchendriya, Pancha Jnanendriya. So these are actually the sensors that are available with us. And they are giving inputs to the brain to be able to process the output. So there is a need for these sensors and actuators. So once that input data is processed, then we get activated to do a lot of things. So how do we implement those sensors and actuators in the neuromorphic boards? Then another important aspect is the neural plasticity. So this is also something because there are multiple routes within the brain which can be connected for the processing purpose. So these are some of the things which can be understood for the from the research perspective. Then after these LLM accelerators and neuromorphic, another important area and also with lot of applications in healthcare is what is called as the digital twin. So digital twin is nothing but uh, it requires a lot of AI tools as well as it requires a lot of handling with AR VR, uh, which enable which utilize the compute power which is available with us and also which requires processing of large amount of data. So data, compute power and algorithms, all the three aspects are utilized in this version of AI which is commonly being called as the digital twin. So on the left side, if you see here, we have the physical aspect of the world, which has objects, processes, and system. On the right side, if you see, there is a simulation of the real world, which is called as the digital twin, and which has got representative models of the objects of the world. Then there are also data management aspects and most importantly, data analytics aspects. And then once we are able to simulate our real world in the virtual world, then we are able to design a lot better solutions for the real world as well. So in the on the right side, we are seeing that a complete human body twin has been built. So this is actually, if you look at the healthcare, then a lot of disparate systems are available today. So which means we have singular AI models that are created. Then we have EHR systems on one hand. Then uh, we see that a lot of people are using these health devices in the form of smart watches, or many people, if you see while running, they are utilizing the data collection devices which they tie on the arms. So a lot of that kind of exercise related data is also being collected. Then clinical data, demographic data, sensor data, then radiology data is all being collected, and of course our EHR related data. So can we personalize our system using all this data? So is there a mechanism of integrating so many kinds of health data into one whole and a holistic analysis of the person? So instead of dividing our system into nervous, endocrine, lymphatic, reproductive, excretory, so many systems are there as part of our human body. But can we get a, a single picture of what is happening in the body as a whole at the subsystem level, at the system level, tissue level, cellular level? So all these tests are being done at variety of levels in the body. But can we add up all this information as actionable information for the uh, risk assessment? One aspect is risk assessment, where we say we are able to predict that after 5 years, are we more prone to certain types of diseases? Then treatment recommendations and also treatment and lifestyle modification related aspects as a predictive system, as well as, of course, a better curative and treatment management system. Here in this area, we have started a project in the area of ophthalmology. So we are designing a digital twin eye, for the eye, because it is, uh, to start with, it is easier to take instead of the number of variables that are available in the eye is kind of controllable. So we took this area. And what we are able to do is create a digital twin for based on the eye related data is being able to be converted to a 3D model which can be traversed by the doctor. And also we are attempting to create a system where if we are able to give some kind of treatment on the eye. So if we are able, let us say there are a variety of laser treatments that can be given. So if we give treatment one on that patient, what is the effect? So we want to see that kind of effect and attempting to develop a digital twin for the eye. So this has a lot of applications in the area of healthcare if we can plan and devise such kinds of platforms. So before we move to this aspect, let me see. So how can we'll take a look at some of the questions? How can machine learning progress the correctness and efficiency of medical diagnosis? So I think we have tried to attempted to answer this question through the utilization of digital twins and also through the utilization of variety of models that can be created. Yeah, so machine learning, deep learning definitely has a big, very big role to play in the area of medical image diagnosis. Very important. Then another question from Dr. Rohini is what are the different thrust areas in agriculture and how AI can be incorporated? So we have taken a look at some of these aspects. Thrust areas of research we are actually discussing now going forward. What are the new thrust areas that are possible? Okay, so if you can also share some of you, what are the models or what are the use cases you are looking at in the area of healthcare, then we can also perhaps, as part of your projects, college projects for the students, what are the um, areas that are being targeted. So we can see if we can have some kind of collaboration so that some of the models which have been developed can be enhanced as student projects that you may have devised for your students. Then moving forward, the AI infrastructure becomes very important for the development of models. A lot of the students, to start with, we are using what is called as the Google Colab as the hardware platform for training of models. But it is that platform is very good for development of new basic kind of models with less amount of data. But when we have to develop large models, that is where we require large AI infrastructure. These are some of the AI technologies from CDAC, HPC technologies, right from 1988. That is where CDAC was born, and since that time we have been contributing in the area of supercomputing, and started with the development of Param 8000, then Param 9000, 10,000, Param Padma, Param Yuva 2. And we also have a small box which is called as supercomputer in a box and which is code named as Param Shavak. So this box, one variant of this box comes with a GPU, and that GPU is good to go for small applications at the academia level or at hospital level also if we have to develop and deploy smaller models. So this Param Shavak architecture is really good to get started in the area of AI and have the infrastructure available at your own location also. One important aspect of AI in healthcare that we need to take care of is the aspect where the hospitals are not ready to share data. So data sharing is a very big challenge in the healthcare domain. And so there is a need for having the compute infrastructure as well as the edge inferencing infrastructure available in premises of the hospital. So this Param Shavak device becomes very important and effective for getting started in the area of AI. So we have a project with which is funded by ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, and they have funded a project for the oral cancer area, and with collaboration with the hospital in the south, which is CMC Vellore. So they have already purchased this kind of device, and we are able to hence develop models on their data on their premises. So they have a requirement that the data cannot move out of their periphery or their perimeter. So to take care of this requirement, this Param Shavak device has been utilized. And a similar device has been also deployed at AIMS New Delhi for the hosting of our models. So the variant of Param Shavak is called as Param Shavak DLGPU. So this is a hybrid architecture, and of late, recently PM has also inaugurated um, Rudra architecture based high performance computing systems, which are being utilized in several supercomputers. So three such machines were dedicated to the nation by the PM last year. Then we have this Param Eravat and Param Siddhi AI infrastructure, on which we are able to develop our uh, healthcare related models and the oncology, Ayurveda related, as well as public health related models that I described in the beginning of this talk. So they have all been developed on this Param Siddhi AI and Param Eravat infrastructure. And access also has been provided. So a lot of research institutes are getting connected to this platform for the purpose of development of AI models. Then this HPC infrastructure has been set up under National Supercomputing Mission and also being provided to the startups and MSMEs. So one important aspect of AI model development is also that of startups. So a lot of funding and a lot of ideas are being generated through calls for startups. And I'm sure that in the academia level also, you may be having some of these aspects available for the students to enable startups in combination with the professors and the students. So this is an important innovation component. When we talk about innovation for the nation, this platform or this infrastructure also is important. The startup ecosystem, what they call nowadays, setting that up and in the academic environment with the Param Shavak kind of infrastructure being made available to the students will become important for the development of models. So India's AI supercomputer is Param Eravat, which is ranked 75th in the global supercomputing list. And this provides 200 AI petaflops. And when integrated with Param Siddhi, it provides a total of 410 AI petaflop mixed precision. So this is an important achievement from perspective of CDAT. Now a few slides related to our group, which is AI and Quantum Technologies group. I have explained a lot of these products and these projects. The first one being the oncology platform for breast cancer and ovarian cancer. Then Mosquit and MDOTS plus, these are our offerings for the public health, for malaria, and for the diagnosis of sputum slides of tuberculosis. And the collaborations become very important for AI projects. So we have collaborations with AIMS, ICMR, Ministry of Ayush, and we have also collaborated with them for this capacity building initiative that I explained before. Then the language solutions also important aspect of AI, and we have machine translation, OCR, information extraction and retrieval systems, speech technologies, e-learning platforms, dictionaries, and of course, mobile platforms to make these available. So Kanthastha 3.0 is one platform which has been released, and also it has got an AI app for the purpose of machine translation, machine-based translation. Then I also lead projects in the area of quantum computing. So quantum computing and simulations, post-quantum cryptography, uh, and quantum metrology and quantum sensing. And CDAC is also involved in the development of a quantum-based. We already have quantum simulator, which is being provided for researchers, and we are in the process of developing a quantum computer in the coming couple of years. So this quantum domain is also very important for healthcare, because when the compute requirements exceeds that of the AI algorithms, and when optimization of certain aspects of that algorithm need to be done in a uh, energy efficient manner, that is where the quantum computing paradigm is important and can be utilized. So at this point, the hardware infrastructure is being built, but to be able to gain understanding of the quantum computing domain, we can utilize the simulators which are already available. So these are some of the references. And before ending, I think I like to discuss this aspect related to uh, the importance of Indian talent and information technology. And that is actually compounded with the availability of the AI technologies that we have discussed now. And that will really define the India for tomorrow. So with this, collaboration becomes an important aspect of developing AI models. And I would like to stop here for any questions.
Dear participants, any question, any queries, please?
So if we can also have some comments from their side, their experiences in the development of AI models. So since a lot of faculty members are there, I'm sure they have some experiences to share.
There are 228 participants now in all our faculties. Some of them are from industry as well.
Okay.
So please, I request the participants, if you have anything to share, as ma'am opened up the session for discussion and all.
Yeah, because this is a very important aspect of our talk also. What are the experiences, what are the challenges that people have faced while developing models? So have you developed models? What are the areas in which you are developing models? Also, you can share that.
Ma'am, I'm working on 3D printing of the brain in AIML using AIML domain. Like I'm converting the 3D, I'm converting the MRI images 2D to 3D and then trying to print it. So there are some issues over there while converting the information from one domain to another domain. So some data is missed out. Some losses are occur over there. So is there any solution for this?
So what kind of platform are you using for conversion?
For
And what is the purpose, first of all, to convert an MRI into a
3D to print the
3D?
3D brain so that the brain tumor can be detected easily and what type of portion to be segmented over there or to be operated that can be easily known to these surgeons. That is
So
what
for the
this.
purpose of surgery, you're trying to do
Yes,
this.
yes.
So which specific area you're targeting? MRI of
Tu-
which area?
Brain tumor, whole area.
Brain tumor, okay.
Right.
Okay, so this is an interesting area of research actually.
Able to succeed to a certain extent. So 3D
Okay.
brain I could able to print, but some losses are there, and the whole coding is done in Python. So there are some other tools available but they are like right now they are free, but someday if they are get proprietary proprietary status, then it will be difficult for me to move ahead further. So that's why I'm using Python itself, only Python for the conversion.
Correct. So this is a big challenge actually. That is why I also focused some part of the talk on the research aspect. We really need to focus on developing our own tools as a country.
Right,
So
right, true,
that
true. So I'm developing in Python that one, but some issues are there, so I'm trying to focus on that.
okay.
Yes, ma'am, one more question from the participant. Hospitals are not willing to share real-time medical data for healthcare projects. So how to go research without real-time medical data? So there is one question from Rajesh Jagtap, sir.
Okay. So this is a really big challenge for the Rajesh sir. This is a big challenge for the AI application of AI/ML in healthcare. So for that, what we have through our experience realized that it is important to have AI infrastructure in their place. And so this Param Shavak model, which I explained, so that becomes important that we share or we have that infrastructure in the hospital itself. So hospital can put their data on that infrastructure which is available in their own hospital. And what they are willing to do is they are willing to give us a VPN connection to that server. So our model should be developed on that server itself. So there is this concept of federated learning. So federated learning can be utilized where if the data cannot come to your infrastructure, then your model can go to the location where the data is there. So it's the reverse. Your model traverses to the location of their data and it does processing on their infrastructure. And the summary of that, they will perhaps allow you to further process at your location if required.
Madam, I'm working on the early detection of Alzheimer disease using the ML techniques. Same question I'm facing. I'm not getting the appropriate data set. I have searched the PubMed, MRI images I'm getting, but appropriate data set I am not getting.
Hello, pardon, ma'am. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, sir. I am working on the early detection of Alzheimer's using the AI techniques. But I'm not getting the appropriate data set. I'm getting the MRI images, but the same question I'm also facing. I have contacted many hospitals like AIMS, but they are not sharing due to the uh, security reasons.
So very, very big challenge for healthcare is that
Yeah.
availability of data itself. So actually it is important that we are able to share or actually devising the problems should be done after the data set is obtained. So that is what we are usually doing. We should not define a problem first and then go figure out the data set.
Okay, so first we should get the data set after.
Correct. Correct. So you should attempt to get the data set first. Which are the repositories you are trying to get? Because brain MRI data is available in.
PubMed I have searched.
Okay.
Yeah. It is not available.
Okay. Okay.
It was really a nice session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, madam. You are
Uh,
from which college?
I am from Marwadi University, Rajkot.
Rajkot. Okay. So nice. If you can introduce yourself, then also I will know where you are from.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank,
so much, madam.
thank you.
Actually, it's a hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Actually, it's a like big issue in India. Like I observed in many developed countries, the data is easily available, and they are like preserving the privacy, and they are sharing the data openly with the researchers. But in India, I think the agency like or the center like CDAC if take, take the initiative to literate the hospitals. Like we don't do anything with that data. Just like we want to get some information. This is information. There is no. We don't want information regarding the attributes of the patient. So in that way, like they can the share data. If some education it needs to be given in this way.
Correct. So towards this end, India AI mission has got two pillars. So
Hmm.
one of them we saw in our presentation, which had to do with AI Kosh. So that is a location where more than 350 data sets are available and which
Okay.
are de-identified, like you're saying.
Yes. Yes.
The
Yes.
second pillar is also what is called as responsible AI pillar. So under this, there was a call for proposals and also which will enable us to de-identify the data as well as help us to share the data. So that is the purpose of this responsible AI call.
Right. 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 Okay. Okay.
So that will be integrated with the AI course, is what I understand.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And hence the India-centric or India-focused data sets will start becoming available. I think there is one data set in the oral cancer area which has been uploaded to the AI course.
Okay. Okay. But this is the major issue to get the real-time data to work upon.
True, you are right. So that is why
Yes.
this has been
Yes.
included as one of the pillars of the India AI mission, where we have this AI course specifically to address this issue.
Yes. Yes. Ma'am, like under this mission, are the hospitals connected to these resources or this repository so that they can upload their data likewise?
Correct. So we are urging people to upload their data, including those from academia, the medical academia, as well as medical research institute. So ICMR is contributing a few data sets to this mission. So if hospitals want to upload, they are most welcome to join this AI course, because a lot of hospitals also have that requirement of not allowing data to move out of the boundaries of India. So all the
Yes.
servers which were previously available, the AWS kind of environments, they do not have data centers in India. So that
Right.
was
Right.
also
Right.
one of the big issues which has been addressed using this AI Kosh infrastructure.
Yes. True, ma'am. It's like very true. Uh, because as I said, I am working on say brain tumor and 3D printing. Even the data of the normal patients is not available. So somebody is like willing to give the information, the data, for example, scanning, MRI scanning, though the patient is normal. But the normal case is also very less. So that data is also very less with the hospitals. That is also a challenge.
Correct. So computer science as departments, like I also mentioned during the earlier part of my talk, we have to have collaborations with the medical associations. So with the medical institutions, so that MOUs are signed and we have everything in. I attended one conference at CMC Vellore about a couple of years back. And if you look at the picture of AI from their perspective, um, they see that technologists come to them only for data. They're not giving
Right.
them anything back for
Ah,
their utilization.
true,
So
true, true.
this is their challenge. And what they are also saying is that data ownership is with the patient actually. So they also cannot directly share the data. So we also need a lot of tools for the de-identification of data to enable this creation of models, and federated learning is something which we are now trying with
But even
CMC value.
but in even federated learning, once we like send our model on the data source itself, but the data is captured. So again, we need to like educate the in this way, educate to the hospitals. We are not doing anything with the data, just we are training the model. Our model is
Correct,
maybe.
correct. So this
Uh,
education and training of doctors and capacity building of doctors in these new technologies,
yes,
very,
yes,
very important.
yes, yes. And we'll do connect, ma'am, on this also. Uh,
Sure.
one more question, ma'am. Selection of sensors to collect the real-time data is difficult task. So any suggestion to identify the accurate and precise sensors? What are the norms need to understand to identify reliable sensors? This is one question from audience.
So again, we will need to understand what is the area that sensor for what, because there are a lot of sensors that are available.
Yes, yes. Harshad sir, are you there? You ask question and ma'am is asking about like what kind of sensors you want. What is
Yes, actually, sir, I want to go for the EEG and heart rate kind of data set. But
Can
generally,
you
when we
also
go for,
introduce yourself, sir, first?
yeah, please, ma'am. Actually, myself, Professor Harshad Lokhande, I am from MIT University. Yeah. So generally, when we start to work on any medical related field, so we prefer to go with the standard sensors which are available for the uh, educational purpose. But those kind of data sets are not commercially useful. So when we want to start actually to work on the commercial level, so what kind of sensors are required? Because the sensor, if you consider sensor for the heart rate, it is available only in the 200 rupees, but that sensor is not reliable.
Correct. So again, for this, you have to link up with the doctor who is looking for this particular model, because instead of we dictating the sensors, we should study what sensors they are already using and develop our models which will be in line with the instruments that they are using. So I think that will be a better strategy rather than we trying to suggest any sensors, because that is difficult. That will not work in terms of scaling the solution.
Mhm.
It is hard.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
So you may have to. So another challenge in this area is that there are a lot of variety of sensors that are available. Even for the case of EEG, we had studied this area, and we found that there are a lot of uh, variety of data formats and variety of instruments in the EEG itself. So even collating that data to make a data set is a big challenge. So we will need tools to be able to collate the data from different EEG instruments.
Yeah, because actually I'm working right now on edge computing devices. So the actual training and data set collection is happening on some other device. And when I want to deploy it in a runtime, real time, so I'm getting a challenges at that time because sensor scaling is different, the actual device is different, and the data which collected on the device, it's entirely different.
Correct, correct. That is what I'm trying to say. That we need to create a good match between variety of data instruments that are available.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that is also a big challenge. That is not standardized yet. So
Okay.
it's a standardization challenge basically.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harshad sir. Anybody, any question? Like it's an interesting topic, we know, and the enthusiasm amongst the participant, as so many participants have registered for this. So definitely, it's interesting. Any question? Any query?
No, it is very interactive. So once it is interactive, then it becomes very live actually.
Yes, true, ma'am.
Live problems get, they surface and we can develop solutions together. See, I will not have answers to all the questions, but at least we will know the direction of thinking and the direction. Even if we are able to identify the areas of research, then also it is a good addition.
True, very true, very true. Uh, any more question? If not, then we'll move towards the end of the session. I request Bharti ma'am to give the vote of thanks. Okay, Vasu ma'am is there to deliver the vote of thanks session.
Yeah, I'm audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. As we come to the close of today's incredible, insightful session, It is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks. On behalf of Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, D.Y. Patil Unitech Society, Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, Department of Computer Engineering. Firstly, a huge round of applause to our esteemed speaker, Ms. Lakshmi Panan, for taking the valuable time to share your vast knowledge and expertise on AI/ML in healthcare. Your session was not only informative but also truly inspiring, ma'am. The depth of your experience, especially with the real-world applications of AI/ML in healthcare, has undoubtedly sparked new ideas and curiosity in all of us. We are grateful for your valuable insights into how AI/ML is shaping healthcare and the medical informatics. I would like to extend my thanks to the management, Honorable Dr. Somnath Patil, sir, Director, CCR, respected Dr. Dheeraj Agrawal, sir, Principal Dr. Nitin Sherje, sir, and HOD Computer, Dr. Vinod Kimone, sir, for their unwavering support and guidance. The last but not least, a big thanks to all the participants for patiently listening and understanding. Thank you all of you. I declare session is over. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again. The feedback link is shared in the chat, so participants can feedback and the attendance link. So participants can fill up that form.
Thank
Yes.
you very much, Vasudha ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes,
Dhotre sir
thanks.
also.
Thanks a lot,
You so
sir.
Thank,
much.
thank you, Lakshmi ma'am. You spare your time with us and you have shared your knowledge with all the participants. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
You may leave the meeting, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, everyone, just give your attendance and the feedback, and you can leave the meeting. Thank you.
There's nothing